You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
CNN anchor busts Jim Jordan for ruthless double standard. Tuesdays, based on an article by A.M. Lynch. Trump's Anti-Weaponization Fund is just power protecting itself. The interview was the surface. Pamela Brown did what too much television avoids. She forced Jim Jordan to answer for the gap between what Trump allies say and what they are actually arranging. The exchange centered on a reported $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, the claim that Todd Blanche said it was dead, and the reported insistence that the Trump family not be audited by the IRS. Brown also pressed Jordan on his refusal to treat Republican abuse allegations the same way he treats Democratic ones. That is the context. The more important story is what the interview exposed: a governing coalition that talks like it is defending ordinary people while using institutional leverage to protect its own. Who actually holds power? The institutional power in this story sits with Trump's orbit, the Justice Department negotiations, and the Republican lawmakers who normalize the arrangement. Jim Jordan is not a confused observer. He is a partisan enforcer helping translate executive self-protection into congressional language. Todd Blanche's role matters, too. If the reported settlement is being described as dead, while Brown says the committee was told it would not be put in writing, then the point is not ambiguity. The point is leverage. Power is trying to keep the deal alive without leaving fingerprints. Grievance as cover. Jordan's move was familiar. When cornered, he pivoted from the actual deal to a different story about the weaponization fund supposedly helping people like Mark Houck, whom he casts as a victim of the Garland FBI. That is not an answer. It is a decoy. The function of the decoy is obvious if you can make the audience argue about a Perdorn raid. You do not have to defend a taxpayer-funded protection structure for Trump allies. Grievance politics works best when it launders elite self-dealing through a language of victimhood. Accountability for the "not for me." Brown's sharper line came when she pressed Jordan on the abuse allegations involving Republican lawmaker Mark Miller and contrasted his refusal to call for resignation with the fury he directed at Democrat Graham Plattner. Jordan's dodge was predictable: sudden memory loss, missing context, and a retreat into vague claims about what he really meant. The facts and the source are ugly enough on their own. Jordan's standard is not principle, it is faction. He demands maximal punishment when a Democrat is politically useful to attack, then discovers nuance when a Republican faces allegations that should end careers. That is not inconsistency by accident. It is discipline by power. The real story is the protection racket. What this interview reveals is not just hypocrisy. It is the operating logic of the Trump-era Republican Party: use public institutions to shield allies, use culture war language to cover the shield, and use selective outrage to keep supporters from noticing the transaction. The press often treats this as chaos, confusion, or mere double standards. It is none of those. It is organized political defense of the powerful, wrapped in complaint. The system is not malfunctioning. It is being used exactly as designed by people who know how to turn government into immunity and then call it populism. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Norman. Thanks for listening.